Yes.
At this point, other people hearing this conversation will become very concerned. And one of the men who you now have realized his name is Vang. Vang is a tough-looking guy who looks like he's taken care of a few problems in his life, and he will join the two of you and start to ask a little bit. He'll pick up enough information that he will say, "You have seen something very special to our people, and I need to ask you not to speak openly of this. It's a matter of some worry for us because this this being comes to us and we have an arrangement with it. It's a little difficult, and it's but it may be the problem, maybe the solution to all of our problems this year. Hin has said that we are to do nothing, we to not to just defend the village until the giant comes to us this year, and we are not all agreed that this is the best policy, but at this point, perhaps you should not speak too openly of what you have seen, because everybody's going to have a different opinion and all the arguments will start."
Okay, I'm trying to be friendly towards him.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Friend, sit down.
No,
Let me buy you a beer."
He already is. I should also clarify: there is no buying.
Oh, okay.
This is not an inn.
Okay.
You want some beer? Go get some.
Okay.
That's what everybody is doing. Yeah,
I understand. Mm-hmm.
Are we overhearing this conversation?
Yeah, I think you might.
Because then I want to, well, since we're not to talk openly about it, I want to hint towards him if this giant stone man has something to do with the big thing that's coming.
That they are the same thing.
Okay, they are the same thing.
I appreciate your concerns. I absolutely wouldn't want you to throw this place into disarray. So, I think I will keep a bit on the low side. That's what you wish.
Okay.
If I could ask him,
yes.
If you're concerned of what we're talking about, could we maybe meet up some other place which is more secluded? Because we have a lot of questions, or at least I have a lot of questions that I would like to have an answer to.
Make another another percentage roll.
Okay.
And I believe your character has a charisma of, what is it, 12 or 11?
12. 11 it is.
11.
It's 11.
Okay. Go ahead.
Could I maybe use a spell?
If you want to cast Glamour on yourself, you could, but it is pretty obvious to cast a spell.
Oh, okay. that would be kind of rude then. Well, it's 11, so I'll use the percentile dice. Mm-hmm. Oh, a 71.
Ooh, okay. Well, unfortunately, Bang is completely uncharmed by you, and says, "Take my advice. People are he even says, without finishing it, and he says, people's children, and then stops, and then says, people have a lot of reasons not to want you to talk about this." And you kind of get the idea that he's one of those people.
Okay.
So the way he looks at you is not particularly friendly. Kind of a I was good enough to warn you. Clearly, you're too stupid to be warned. Is sort of his demeanor at this point.
Okay.
Unless anybody really wants to stay with this, because Hin is being very good about getting you all placed with people who are happy to give you a bed or put you to work, then unless you want to do more with this, then I suggest we move to the point in the night when Skava is awakened by several women.
Okay, no, because I was thinking of going in the same direction as Mikael is talking to him, since he seems to know things. So I would just like to say to him, like, well, if the more information we have, the bigger the chances that we can help and maybe help protect this place and protect you. And so it would be, well, good for all of us if maybe we could have this discussion.
I'm getting uncomfortable. I'd like to leave and ask you
I'm just
to show me where I'm trying to get out of there, because I have the feeling everybody is right out of their mind.
Well, who knows?
I mean, they are not exactly what I would say is behaving in a community that's welcoming us in this way.
Most people
I don't really understand what they are doing, because I mean, usually in a place like this, you should keep a pretty low profile and be really concerned about being nice to people and not to disturb anything. At least that's the way I'm used to handle this. So I'm feeling more and more uncomfortable, and I'm going to try to leave, as I have the feeling nobody's really registering what I'm trying to hint.
Well, that's what I'm going to interpret as the kind of Imagineering organizer. I'm going to interpret that Urko begins to talk to Vang and is attempting to create more of a connection and a sense of mutual aid. And then the question is whether Skava's look at Urko is going to, it's up to Sandra or whatever you want Urko to do. He can continue to keep talking, or he can take the cue from Skava that maybe it's not a good idea. So tell me which way you want to go, Sandra.
I would like to talk.
All right, then. Let's try that.
No surprise there.
Yeah. Sword is just having flashbacks of the villages. Like, it's always a...
Right. Ikindu, you can see 4 faces at the table with you now, and you can see that these people have strong relationships with each other.
Oh.
Right? As Urko begins to talk, Skava has a reaction. Zork sees that interaction. He has a reaction.
As I see that, can I just... what my character actually do is that I kind of jank... jank? Yeah. I take care of... take a hold of kind of the back and jank it... Skava... No, not Skava.
Try that!
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. Back. And trying also with another other hand, kind of pointing towards them, not saying anything, just kind of to get his attention and just pointing, kind of shut the fuck up.
Oh, are you talking about Urko?
Yeah, I'm talking. Yes, I'm doing this to Urko.
Oh, I see.
Not saying really anything, just using my body language.
Communicate. Okay. This is just a matter of communication, really. So there's no real role involved. Urko, you're getting a second gesture from somebody not to talk. And again, though, it is up to you. So it's kind of amusing if you keep going. So do I assume that you continue, Urko?
Everybody knowing him?
I was going to say I might be guessing here, but it's a pretty good guess.
Well, it's a good guess
Okay.
because I assume that we're going to be here for a while,
Mhm.
and we do need some way of getting out of here, and the best way is to help the people. And
Sandra,
so,
these,
yeah.
let's see how they do.
Let's see, 78.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, we're into the 70s this session.
Right. The outcomes are fairly clear. Everybody is taken to or courteously, has somebody sort of responsible for you, whose job it is to, you can get clean, you can have a place to sleep. That you're effectively being welcomed into the community very effectively. Vang, after this conversation, thanks you, Urko, courteously and quickly, and leaves.
Okay.
But everybody else, is taking care of you and we can even the places that you're taken are some of these smaller buildings, which are clearly just homes and gardens and nowhere particularly special. The So I have things to do with you guys in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
Just a question: where does my character sleep?
Well, you some time ago also have been. I think that you're interesting enough that you probably even might be staying with Hin and her family. And
Okay.
so, who's the sort of the if not really the chieftain, but the person that most people look to the most when they want to know what to do.
Okay.
Right. There are several people like that in any community, and she happens to be the one with the most, sort of the most credit at the moment. And let's see. So the reason that I bring this up, let's see. Urko and
Yes.
Jala, when you are sleeping in a comfortable situation for the first time in quite some time, I would like I'm going to have Urko make a perception roll, which is intelligence times 5, and the same thing for Jala, who
Yes. 27.
oh goodness. Well, you wake up very nicely when your uh, when your host, who's a nice, gentle farming couple, um, they clearly have been disturbed, and have come into where you're sleeping, and you have this is not really like a bedroom. They basically just set up in the main room of their house. They just set up a platform or an area with a bunch of blankets and stuff like that. And they are trying to wake you. No, they're not trying to wake you. You woke up on your own because they have been disturbed by men coming into the house, and Hin is telling them that he will take care of our guests. So you and Jala are invited to go with Hin. No, sorry, not with Hin. What am I saying? Vang, the same guy you were talking to.
Oh, okay.
Right. Vang has come in and has told this couple who's taking care of you, they don't have to. He'll do it. Come with me. To you.
Okay.
So,
I'll follow along.
okay. How about Jala? What do you think?
Um,
She's not. She wouldn't want to be separated from you, but on the other hand, it's occurred to her that she might actually like to go bother him to see whether this is a good idea, whether this is something that. I mean, it seems kind of suspicious. You didn't really get along with this guy, and now here he is coming and getting you in the middle of the night.